Hey there! Are you looking to set up a business but can't decide between a LLC and a corporation? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, I'll break down the basics of both so you can make an informed decision that suits your business the best. Ready to dive in? First off, both LLCs and corporations are similar in how they provide liability protection, but they do have differences worth noting in their ownership structure, management styles, tax options, and legal requirements. Let's explore these differences a little bit. Why someone would choose an LLC or corporation over a sole proprietorship or partnership is that if a sole proprietorship or partnership business is sued, then the owner's personal assets are going to be used to satisfy the debts and obligations of the business. Corporation and LLC, on the other hand, are separate legal entities from the owners. So in most cases, the owner's personal assets aren't usually at risk unless they were to do something personally negligent or signed a personal guarantee for a business loan. Ownership-wise, the differences aren't huge, but LLCs can't issue stock and instead have members who own a percentage of the business, while corporations have shareholders who own stock shares of the company. This can be an important factor if the business intends to raise a lot of outside investment. When it comes to the management of the organization, LLCs are easier to run than a corporation because corporations have an organizational structure that has a board of directors and officers, meetings, and take minutes at the meetings, and that can be complex. Even though any of these positions can be held by a single person, it's definitely more complicated than the LLC. The LLC is more informal in its structure, more like what a sole proprietorship or partnership business is. Now, let's talk taxes. And I'll keep it brief because this does get a bit complicated. But let's go over some of the differences. LLCs don't have their own tax classification, but they can choose to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, partnership, C corporation, or S corporation. Corporations can be taxed as either a C or S corp. This is a complicated subject, and I'm not an accountant, and you should definitely not be taking a tax advice from me. But LLCs are the most flexible, as they can choose to be one of 4 different ways to be taxed, while a corporation only has 2. The benefit to being taxed as a sole proprietorship or partnership is that it is less complicated, and for lower profit businesses, usually you'll pay lower in taxes. Being taxed as a C or S corp can have some tax advantage that can save some money once the business is making a decent profit, but it's a little more complicated, and I do recommend consulting an accountant for advice on the best tax strategy for your business. What's especially appealing about the LLC is that it offers the most tax flexibility, and you're able to change the tax classification as the business changes. Last, I do want to note that corporations and LLCs require you to maintain separate business and personal bank accounts because that helps with helps maintain the liability protection. Owners also need to stay on top of state filings and submit reports to stay in good standing with the state, which keeps the entity active. Which option is right for you? And this really depends on your business goals and needs. And while both offer liability protection, LLCs often make more sense for small businesses due to the less structured organizational structure and the flexible tax options. However, if you plan to seek significant investment, a corporation might be a better choice, as there are more options for ownership and profit distribution. Now, keep in mind, I'm not an accountant or an attorney, so it's best to consult with a professional for personalized advice. I hope this helps clarify the main differences between an LLC and a corporation. If you find this information useful, please make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more small business tips. And don't forget to visit our website, startingyourbusiness.com, for even more valuable resources and information, such as our step-by-step guides to starting a corporation or LLC. Thanks for watching, and best of luck on your entrepreneurial journey.